Reverend Dr. Ken Gordon, Spiritual Leader, Centers for Spiritual Living, bringing you the second week of November on our value themes for 2017, or for November this year, is how to reverse financial adversity. And the value that we're talking about is financial health and prosperity. This week's presented by Dr. Petra Weldes from Dallas, Texas. And what she says is that we reverse financial adversity through stewardship and giving. And really, that is the truth. We reverse financial restriction in our lives by opening the circulation of life. Visualize a hose, if you will, where we sometimes have a block on the income and we sometimes have a block on the outgo. What's really essential for us to be able to move forward is to appreciate and understand that that flow has to be constant and consistent. Therefore, what we work upon and the principles that we use are one of allowing that flow to move. That means that we must both receive and be willing to receive, and to give and be willing to give. And it can't be done halfway. It can't be done where you sort of want to receive or you sort of want to give. That's how come the application of tithing to give is a practice that is spiritual in its nature, that allows us to open the flow on that end of the conduit of life. The receiving is another one as well, to be able to stop and be open and receptive, to know that by the very inherent purpose of your being, that you are open to receiving and to be benefited and nourished and nurtured by the universe itself. Dr. Holmes in The Science of Mind says, "In our ignorance of the truth, we have misused the highest power that we possess. And so great is this power, so complete is our freedom in it, so absolute the domain of law through it, that the misuse of this power has brought upon us the very conditions from which we suffer." He also says in this thing called You, that when a problem confronts you, take it into the silence of your consciousness, and instead of thinking of the problem, think of the answer. Live in the solution. God does not have problems, therefore the divine mind is the answer to every human problem, and principles never have problems. Problems are solved by bringing them under the control of principles. The problem is dissolved as the principle flows through it to the correct answer. So we can see and we can understand that what Dr. Holmes is talking about here, once again, is to be in that flow of life, to be a conduit for that flow. And once again, to be that conduit, it's absolutely necessary for us to both be receptive to the good and give the good away. This is how come I use a principle in my life called the 10-10-80 principle. And it's really simple, is that of all the money that I bring into my life, I tithe 10%. Of all the money I bring into my life, I put 10% into a special account which I utilize and use for my goodness. I live on the 80%. When I began to do this, my finances transformed. Suddenly what was occurring in my life was the feeding and the receiving of what it is that I required and what it is that I needed. To go through those circumstances, to be able to do it, created quite a bit of conflict in my life, but it wasn't conflict. What it was my consciousness transforming and changing to be receptive to this goodness. This is not only true for me, it's a law. It can be true for everyone, and it's true for you right here and right now. When you open up to receipt and when you open up to giving, what will happen is the universe will flow. God bless you. Please know that you're loved.